This just in. This will be a big Football Friday here on the National Football Show. Welcome aboard. Breaking news. Breaking news. Hit the like button, and here it goes. The Philadelphia Eagles have an interest in bringing Kyler Murray to Philadelphia. It's not just Big Sales. Mike Florio is also reporting it. NJ.com is also reporting it. There's now multiple people saying that Howie Roseman and Steve Keim, the general manager of the Cardinals, are having a dialogue. That does not mean, and nor am I saying, I'll get to you if I think it's a good idea or not. Did I just drop a New England idea? Holy cow. You freaks are making me talk like I did when I was a kid. Idea? Oh, okay, idea. Holy cow. I'm resorting back to my New England roots here a little bit. Okay, anyway. Kyler Murray, a Philadelphia Eagle. Yay or nay? Wow. Multiple sources are now saying, and by the way, Kyler Murray is not reporting to Arizona Cardinal OTAs or any offseason workouts until he gets a new contract. And get this, the contract he and his agent want are north of $200 million. $200 million. And you get Kyler Murray. Do you sign off on it? By the way, one of our friends who follows the program, Lord Brunson, huge Philadelphia Eagle fan, will be with us, and he'll be with us at the bottom of the hour. He is a gigantic Jalen Hurts fan, and we'll get his spin on it. Kyler Murray. Yes or no? Kyler and the Honey Badger, oh my God, we got the division. That's what X says. Oh, by the way, very nice. Way to go, Hugh. Good Friday to everyone today. God bless you, man. Marcus, what's up? Hugh, maybe. Eagles can't afford to send me a cheesecake. They're not getting Murray. Linebackers, dude. Right? Oh, he's saying Lord Brunson. Excuse me. Okay, Xander. Okay. I mean, hey, I got it. LB is Lloyd Brunson. That's what I'm going to call his ass. LB. Little Murray's too small. Sills. If they bring a ladder with him, wait a minute, man. Easy money, man. Matt Corral, the next quarterback superstar. I say no to Murray. Too much money. Silzioni. Is that like a pepperoni and cheese pizza? By the way, Colonial Pizza, dude. Try it in Stanford if you ever get up that way. Even the dude from Barstool, Portney, he freaking loves that. I grew up on it. It's one of the greatest pizzerias of all time. Okay? Trust me when I tell you. Just make sure you go there and try it. Colony Pizza. I grew up on that stuff. My Uncle Richard used to go down and get 18 pies. One of the best. $220 million. NFC champs with Kyler Murray. $200 million. You tell me, guys. Let me tell you what I think. Kyler Murray to the Philadelphia Eagles doesn't make sense. Kyler Murray has been a hell of a football player in Arizona. He's been a hell of a football player. He's gotten better every year he's been in Arizona with Cliff Kingsbury. He's been a spectacular player. There's no question when DeAndre Hopkins got injured and Connor, the running back, got injured, that offense went sideways. So what does that tell me? That tells me that the football team still has to put pieces around the quarterback, and he's not quite Joe Burrow, or he's not quite Justin Herbert. Okay? You still have to have an effective running game, and you still have to have a star wideout for the kid to be able to move the sticks. But when they do, hey, what was the start they got out to last year before everybody started getting hurt in Arizona? What was it, a 10-1 start? They got out to a hell of a start, right? They pretty much had that division wrapped up last year. I thought he played well when everybody was in the room. And then what happened? Business decisions, and all of a sudden, something went sideways between the coach and the player and the general manager. I think it's funny that the Bidwells decided to extend the coach and the general manager before they even decided to address the quarterback. Now, to be fair, I don't think the organization had to do anything. He's still on a rookie contract. But would you not say this, at least about Kyle? And by the way, what I'm doing, it was a 9-0 start. Thank you, guys. Listen, what I'm doing here is trying to rationalize this out, how we're here with Kyler Murray. Then I'll give you my take on whether or not he's a fit for the Eagles or not. And do I think they should pursue him? How did we get here? There's no question there's a rift in the building. The agent has taken the deal back that they put on the table. You know what the organization's response was? We never looked at it. His contract's not up yet. They were going to start addressing it as they got closer to the fall. That wasn't good enough for the agent. The agent and the player wanted to have a contract in place before September. That wasn't good enough for them. Scrubbed his social media. The agent now and him are pissed. There's a rift between. And now you're starting to hear, and how much of it is smokescreen media stuff, that the organization and the quarterback are not on the same page. Okay. Is it a good fit in Philly? Is that the kind of style of quarterback that the Eagles want to have and to build their franchise around? Is he a $200 million quarterback? Before we make the decision on whether or not you bring him in to Philadelphia, ask yourself, is he a $200 million quarterback? Know this. If Jalen Hurts is here in 2 years, he's going to command $40 million. Do you think Jalen Hurts has the same talent as Kyler Murray? I do not. I do not believe Jalen Hurts has the same talent that Kyler Murray has. Kyler Murray's a better player. Kyler Murray is a better player than Jalen Hurts. He's a better player. He's more athletic. He's a more athletic player. He's a better quarterback. He's a smaller version, in my opinion, of Russell Wilson. That is what Russell Wilson looked like his first couple of years when he was at Seattle. Like that. Relied on a running game. Was pretty accurate. He's more accurate than Jalen will ever be. You tell me. Way better passer, Steve? I'm going to ask the question, and then I'm going to throw it out to you, my opinion right now, and I'll say it. $200 million for that style of football. Here's my problem with it. Would I give Lamar Jackson a 5-year contract? Man, for that style of play, and you run like that, it's a really shaky proposition because you're looking at potential injury with a player like that. Look at Lamar Jackson's last 2 years. The ceiling for that style is pretty tough. It's electric. It's fun to watch. There's no question. He's worth the price of admission. That's the kind of guy you pay to go watch him play. Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, Those guys are great to watch. But is it in the building when it comes to trying to win a Super Bowl? And to Chris's point, you're talking about a lot of cheese here. You're talking about a lot of cheese, man. A lot of money. Okay? Xander thinks he's got a personality issue. Thinks he couldn't handle Philly. Thinks he'd have a problem with it. How many people, let me ask you this. How many people were suspect on Michael Vick's personality going into Philly? Soft-spoken guy, after all the things that he had gone through. Did you think he'd fit in Philly? I didn't. But he did. You know why? He had a backbone. He had a backbone. Michael Vick had a backbone. Xander's like this. He's like, Philly hates brats. Bro, professional athletes are brats today. Social media has made them brats. This is not the 90s and early 2000s any longer. You got to pat these guys on the head and kiss their ass a bit. That old school mentality like the Bradys and the Burrows in a way, dude, that's not today's guy. That's not today's guy. You've got to be a better coach, and more so, you got to be a psychologist with some of these dudes. You got to kind of watch what you say, because a lot of this stuff is guaranteed money now. You just can't shit on players like you used in the day. Guys weren't making the money that they're making now. Guys in the NBA tell their coaches and their general managers to F off now. When you're owed $250 million, I don't give a shit what you think. When you're these NFL quarterbacks, and by the way, the NFL has made these quarterbacks like NBA players. I don't like what's going on in New England. Brady really started the trend. I'm going to pick up my bat and ball and leave and go somewhere else now. That's what he did. Russell Wilson didn't like what was going on any longer in Seattle, picked up his bat and ball, moved on to Denver. Aaron Rodgers was pissed off of what the Packers were doing. And by the way, you know what the Packers were doing? They were doing the same thing they did to Brett Favre. They were looking for a transition plan. What's wrong with the transition plan? That's how Aaron Rodgers got the job. Pissed them off so much, he threw such a crybaby act, he got paid $200 million. He's making $50 million a year because he whined like a bitch. Hey, and by the way, good for him. He did it. He got it. Cost him Devontae Adams. But that's what it is here, man. That's today's athlete. Crybabies, I get it. Nobody likes that shit any longer. Why are you whining, dude? That's just today. How good a player is Kyler Murray? Is he good enough to be in Philly? Is there anybody in the draft this year, next year, that you want to build your football team around that you think is better than Kyler Murray? Tell me. Who's better than Kyler Murray coming out of the college ranks next year, this year? Who's better? Guys, we can't go on into another season talking about the same shit over and over about a quarterback. We can't do it. You're never going to contend. I don't want to compete. Kyler's soft. I think Aaron Rodgers is soft. I think Aaron Rodgers is soft. Corral or Stroud? Really? Stroud, Ohio State quarterback. You can keep him. No interest in that dude. No interest. I have no interest in Ohio State quarterbacks. Why would I? Just like I said about Justin Fields last year when they had the draft. Oh, so Justin Fields is going to break the mold and he's going to go out and ball like Joe Burrow. Really? Joe Burrow and you know what? Sills, The Bears had the worst O-line. Not really true. Joe Burrow had the worst O-line. It took the team to the Super Bowl. The facts are they went out and got 4 free agent O-linemen. They'll probably draft a guy with their first pick in the O-line. They'll have 5 new dudes, and he got that team to the Super Bowl. So don't give me that shit about, well, Justin Fields didn't have the O-line. He had Allen Robinson, who just signed with the Rams. That's excuses. The guy sucks. Told you that. Not drafting that shit. Have no interest. Justin Fields sucks. Oh, get this. He blocked me when I said that. I said Justin Fields sucks. He blocked me. I was like, wow, pretty sensitive. He did. He blocked me. I was like, I wasn't really even talking to him. I was talking about him. And he blocked me. I was like, really? You're that weak. Killing me. I couldn't believe it. I was like, Justin Fields blocked me? I don't even remember tweeting at him. I don't. I remember tweeting about him. I'm like, oh, it's probably because I said that all Ohio State quarterbacks stink. No NFL guy has ever come out of that program. Probably hated that. Okay? But wait a minute, Chris. That's what you got here. He's not a thug. Come on, man. Don't let anybody think that you're talking shit on him because of something else. He's not a thug. I don't know the guy from a can of paint. How would I know he's a thug? You want to know who a thug is, Chris? Greg Popovich. He's a thug. The way he treats people, the way he talks to people, for a guy that hates Donald Trump as much as he does, he sure acts like Donald Trump. Shits on the media, talks shit to everybody he can, even talks shit to his players. Couldn't keep Kawhi Leonard in the building. Hasn't made the playoffs 3 straight years. Gee, really? Oh, okay. Greg Popovich is a thug because he can't take it when someone's talking shit to him. Okay? Greg Popovich. That team was run by Tim Duncan the same way that Tom Brady did the Patriots. You all have a buffer in the building. That dude was a complete ass bag the way he talks to folks. Talks shit to not that I have that much respect for reporters. Guy asked him a decent question about his retirement or if he's going to come back. That's an inappropriate question. Shut the hell up, dude. Answer the question. Don't talk down to me. I'm here to do a job too, guy. I may not like reporters and I may not like some of the questions they ask, but they're there to do a job too, just like everybody else is. And if you're going to be a tool like that, I hate Greg Popovich. I do. I can't stand that guy because I can't stand how he talks shit to people. Just answer the freaking question, guys. Howie Roseman's a thug. Yeah, with his binoculars. He got his thug binoculars. Yeah. Oh, man. Hey, nice job, Maniac. Jim Acosta's a piece of you-know-what. Yeah, the big lie. Oh, Jim Acosta. I can't believe that guy's actually Italian. He's a disgrace to all Italians. Complete disgrace. Anybody that has a vowel in their name and acts like that, ugh. Oh, my God. That's not a reporter. That's an activist. Kyler Murray. Let's stay focused. I don't think I've really answered. Do I want him here? You know what's funny? If I think I have to think about it, maybe I don't. God, he's better than Hurts, though. He's better than Hurts. Let's start there first. Let's dissect this. Is he better than Jalen? Come on. Yes. He's better than Jalen. Does he have more upside than Jalen? He's getting better every year. Does he read defenses better? I think he does. Smile says no more Jalen's, so you put him in that same category. Howie lands Matt Corral. I'm telling you, he'll own the NFC for the next 10 years. Yeah. Our Anthony, Joe Burrow, you don't get credit in Ohio State for Joe Burrow. Ohio State doesn't get credit because they told him, sorry, but Fields is coming in and Haskins is better. So he went to LSU. They told him to leave the program. You don't get credit for Joe Burrow. Absolutely not. Hugh says Philly would spit him out. You wouldn't embrace Kyler Murray? If the Eagles made a trade for that guy, you wouldn't bring him in and embrace him at first. You really asking if Murray is better than Hurts? Steve, I know the answer. I'm asking you. I know he's better. I'm asking if you think it. I'm asking if you think he's better. He is better, but a $200 million price tag. Hey, listen, maybe I just got to get over the sticker shock. Fran says, I would rather take Murray over any of these quarterbacks that are coming out in the draft. You want Kyler Murray for $50 million a year, but say Bryce Young's too small. Well, that's because this kid here has proven he can play in the league. And isn't he like 200 pounds? I think Murray's like 200 pounds, isn't it? Isn't he? And he's proven that he can excel. Get Bryce Young on a rookie contract. Could he get bigger this year? That's something else you got to think about. And do you want that style, or do you want the prototypical guy who is a 7-step guy? Steve says, Sills, I don't think Murray takes us to the next level for that price. That may be. Hey, Xander, put Steve H up. Guys, is that it right there? Sills, I don't think Murray takes us to the next level for that price. That may be the $250 million question. That may be. $200 million for a grade up from Jalen, and that style, the style that kind of still aggravates the owner. Remember what the owner says? Hey, I want to air it out. Now, by the way, let's be candid here. Kyler Murray had Zach Ertz and DeAndre Hopkins. They're putting players around him in Arizona. And they got a back. And Connor, who was spectacular before he got hurt. They were putting the pieces around him. Will Howie do that? Will Howie do what they're doing in Arizona for Kyler Murray? I think that also has to be a conversation. You see Howie going out and spending money for DeAndre Hopkins or a guy like that? You got your tight end already signed up. You think Dallas Goedert's going to be a better player than Zach Ertz? I want to see that. I think he's got great potential. All right, I want to do this, guys. I want to take a timeout because we're getting LB on. Lord Brunson, he's a huge Jalen Hurts fan. He may completely hate this idea. Completely hate this idea. That's what we do here. We get guys on that don't always agree with the host, which is great. I love that. So we're going to get his thoughts. Mine says LB's a little too high on Jalen. All right, do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button. Lord Brunson's going to join us, and we'll get his thoughts on everything Eagles, the draft, this new story Pro Football Talk and also NJ.com and Big Sills are telling you that the Eagles have an interest in Kyler Murray. Hit that like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
After a car crash, the big insurance companies you see advertising on TV, they may try to downplay your case and might say it's only a fender bender or it's just a herniated disc. I worry that some law firms fall for this BS. Not us. We put ourselves in your shoes and ask, what would it be like to be in your pain for the rest of our lives? $1 million wouldn't be enough for me. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Imagine for a moment that you went to work today and when you came home, you were catastrophically injured. Your life and your family's life. That's what happened to union construction worker Mike Little.
I was scared of what the end was going to be, but to be 100% honest with you, I knew I was going to be all right just by talking with Brian. In my heart, I just knew everything was going to be all right.
Call the firm and find out why they say, "We got this." Call 215-458-2222.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. One free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you. 7 on 3. 1, 2, 3. Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the memories. Go for the view that goes on forever. Go for the bubbles in your bathtub and in your drink. Go to bed whenever you want. Or don't. Go for him. Go for her. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Welcome back. National Football Show with your boy Big Sills. Boy, that got around fast, didn't it, that the Eagles have interest in Kyler Murray. NJ.com, along with Pro Football Talk, which is owned by Mike Florio, is also saying the same thing. We heard reports also as early as last night that there was a dialogue. Listen, I'm not here suggesting in any way that there's a contract on the table to try to move Kyler Murray to Philadelphia. I'm just saying that there's dialogue. And I have to tell you, I don't think there's just one team. There'll probably be multiple teams. Saints, Carolina, teams like that. Kyler Murray has played really well the last 2 years under the direction of Cliff Kingsbury. He's really done well. Kimes put the pieces around him, too. Now, I'll tell you what, one thing that we've done. I love Philly 500. Now, we have another man who dominates Philadelphia too, and it is Lord Brunson, and he joins us now. LB, welcome to the program, man. I appreciate you stepping in with us.
What up, Dan? It's an honor, man. It's an honor. Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. Okay, your take right out of the gate, NJ.com and Pro Football Talk is also saying that there's interest from the Eagles, or at least a dialogue with the Eagles and with Arizona, potentially on bringing Kyler Murray to Philadelphia. Your take?
It's a joke. I mean, it got to be a joke to me. Why do it? Is Kyler Murray a top 10 quarterback? He's not in my eyes. I think you're just getting a guy who hasn't thrown for 4,000 passing yards yet. He's had way better weapons than any quarterback we've had in the last 10 years, and he was actually mediocre. You know, they started off really hot. Then when the pieces went away, Kyler Murray was just a guy, you know what I mean, that can scramble outside of a pocket. He was atrocious in his playoff debut, just like Jalen Hurts was. So what are you really getting? What are you getting? The occasional pretty deep ball? I'm not with that. That doesn't excite me. If it's not going to be a guy like Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers, what's the point? Kyler Murray still needs to develop. That's the bottom line for me.
How about this too? And the price tag is going to be $212.
Oh, come on. You see what I'm saying? It's not doable. It's doable, but then you handicap any chance you might have had to build this roster via free agency moving forward. You got to hit in the draft if you're paying a guy that much money.
Yeah, and to your point here, the reason that they were able to get DeAndre Hopkins and add components like Zach Ertz's contract to that deal is because Murray's working on a rookie contract. You bring him to Philadelphia, there's $212. Look at what they already had to do, LB. In Green Bay, they got to get rid of Devontae Adams because you're paying a dude $50 million. And we see that always unravel a roster, don't we? When you start paying the quarterback, the roster, it starts to unravel. All right, let me slide it over to Jalen then for you. Are you a believer in Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, I believe the upside is tremendous. Now, we can't live in a fantasy world and not say he doesn't need to develop. Jalen Hurts has to get his arm to the next level, or it's probably going to be bye-bye for him. That's just the way of the NFL in today's game. We don't really believe in developing quarterbacks, but the upside is there. If he can get what Jimmy Garoppolo has in the arm, you got a Pro Bowler. You got a consistent pro. If he can get what Jimmy Garoppolo has, you got the best quarterback in the division as far as arm goes, along with the athleticism. So yeah, I believe in him in short. Yeah.
How about this though, LB? When they're not doing anything to help him. Listen, with Carson Wentz, look what they did. They went out and got Alshon Jeffries and brought a big money guy in for him. Why aren't they doing the same here? Now, look, I know there's $35 million in dead cap money. Believe me, and I just mentioned Jeffries. Some of that is his contract that's still on the cap for the Eagles. But why haven't they done anything? You've got two guys that are making less than $1 million base because they're on rookie contracts in Quez Watkins and with Devontae Smith. And on the other hand, you bring in Zach Pascal. That's not going to add to the development of Jalen Hurts. Are they doing enough to help him get to that next level?
No, they're not doing enough to help him on the offensive side of the ball at all. I think they choose the lesser of the two evils. I think what they did was look at it in its totality. Look at how the football team is built. They looked at it like this. We have holes all over the place. I think they decided to focus on defense, and they think that they can correct the issues or the deficiencies in the draft for the offense in the draft this year. So I think they did some good things to help the team overall, but the answer would be no to anything they did to directly help, Jalen Hurts. Now, you did bring back Kelsey. That makes sense. You did bring back Boston Scott. That makes sense. You did get a wide receiver. We're not going to say they didn't do absolutely nothing. We have the best offensive line in football. They just got to get that primary guy that can play, second fiddle, or that can be a mentor to Devontae Smith. So I don't think they really did enough to help him, no.
Watch this. One more point on Jalen Hurts' style. This is why I say Jalen Hurts doesn't have a high ceiling, because I don't think Lamar Jackson has a high ceiling. I don't think any of these running quarterbacks are going to get contracts like you see Patrick Mahomes getting, a 10-year contract, because LB, the style of play, you're one play away in a sack on getting killed. When you take off running and you're running 150 other times and you're getting banged up like Cam Newton did, look at how Cam is right now. He's a shell of his 2015 self because of the way that style was. And Cam could throw the ball deep. Cam was accurate. I always thought that the NFL officials didn't really know how to legislate him and really how to keep him protected, kind of the same way Shaquille O'Neal was never protected. They just hacked him, and they beat up on on him. I just don't know, in short, if that style's conducive to winning a Super Bowl. Do you think that style can win a Super Bowl?
I think it could be done because you don't have many excuses to go. You don't have many examples to go off of, quarterbacks with an athletic running style that have just been knocked out of the game and hurt and just like been paralyzed or career ending. It's not really a lot of examples like that. There's more examples of quarterbacks getting hit in the pocket and getting hurt. You can go off Cam. Cam's been banged up. The latest one I could think of is RG3. Let's look at the great athletic quarterbacks that came in the game. Randall had a good career. He finished it out. You can go back to Warren Moon. He was labeled as a scrambling type of quarterback. Brett Favre was labeled as a scrambling type of quarterback. My guy in San Fran, Steve Young. There you go, right there. Right. McNabb, Vic. You have guys that have lengthy careers with playing their style of football. Russell Wilson, I guess you could add him in there as well. And, I think the arm just has to catch up to the legs. Once they decide I can get this there with my arm instead, I think it comes with age, but I think you can have a great career, and I think you can win a Super Bowl with this style of play.
Do you think Jalen Hurts can have the same type of career Donovan McNabb had?
I think, you know what? Actually, I do. Because Donovan McNabb wasn't an extreme explosive passer to football, never had a 4,000 passing yard season. You know what I mean? They relied on a West Coast offense. They relied on a lot of dink and dunks. I think he can. But Donovan McNabb also had what the Philadelphia Eagles are trying to do right now, a great defense. They're trying to build that defense up. McNabb had Dawkins, Trotter. He had a lot of guys on the other side of the ball that can get the ball back for him and give him as many chances as he needs. We don't have that here.
One thing, though, I will say I think Donovan was a lot more accurate than where Jalen is right now in his career. I mean, to me, Donovan was an accurate quarterback. Now, hey, listen, did he throw grounders? He did. Okay? But one thing about Jalen that Saban saw at Alabama, he's not a very good deep passer. He's not a very good deep thrower. And that's still something I would say that he's got to work on. Let me take you over to Howie Roseman. Are you a believer in Howie Roseman?
I fight with this every day, Dan. I mean, one day I am, one day I'm not. I mean, I guess it depends on the move being made, but I can't fully 100% put my faith in Howie Roseman. No.
Do you know, not counting last year's draft, I looked at Pro Football Focus. LB, the Eagles are the worst drafting team 4 years. It was graded out. I was like this. Holy shit, man. These guys here had won a Super Bowl in 2017, but maybe that's part of the problem, right? I mean, you go from winning the Super Bowl in 13 games, 4 years later, you win 4 games. I mean, his drafting, he does a great job with the cap, doesn't he? He does a good job with all that stuff, compiling draft picks, but building the team is maybe where the issue is.
I think that is where the issue is for him. I think he needs to bring in a specialist to help him in that area. I think the Philadelphia Eagles get a bunch of guys that don't fit the scheme. Now, this year, I think they're getting guys that kind of fit the scheme. Now he has new coaches in. Things are a little fresher. I need a guy to do this. I need a guy to do that. They're going after those type of guys, which is why you saw the massive signing of Hassan Reddick. He fits exactly what we were trying to do last year. So, it just made sense. But Howie Roseman is a guy, in my opinion, that will always try to, kind of think outside the box in the wrong situation. Like Jalen Hurts and Justin Jefferson. I'm sorry, Jalen Reagor and Justin Jefferson. Come on, we all know what should have happened there. I just think he overthought that, and I fear for this draft. I'm terrified, man. I'm terrified. I'm terrified.
You know what? Here, when they hired me here last year, I'm going to throw this at you here. They asked me if my first question was, what do you make of the Devontae Smith pick? I go, it's horrible. And they go, why? Because they have a quarterback who's on training wheels. They'll never get him the ball. And it was last year when you look at what Jalen Waddle did in Miami, 104 catches. He had Jacoby Brissett throwing him the ball. He had Tua, who was in and out of the lineup. And I just fear with the style of play that they have and the quarterback still trying to develop with not a lot of great pieces around him right now, do you think we're ever really going to see the true maximum potential of Devontae Smith in a style of offense the Eagles run? And LB, I'll throw this at you. Barrett Brooks said this to me. I could have bought him with a wooden nickel a couple days ago. He was stunned when I told him that the Eagles have never had 100-catch season wide receiver at any time in the history of the franchise. And I'm not talking tight ends. I'm talking wide receivers. And he was floored by that. Do we ever see what Devontae Smith could really be in this style of play with the Eagles?
That's such a tough question for me to answer with a yes or no, because although we know Devontae Smith could have had more, he did break the rookie receiving yard record. So some things were accomplished. We know he could have had more. We know what he's capable of. So it really depends on Jalen Hurts. It depends on Jalen Hurts. If Devontae Smith is subpar or mediocre while Jalen Hurts is his quarterback, it's a direct issue with Jalen Hurts, because this is the prototypical wide receiver. He can do everything, and I feel like it depends on Jalen Hurts. If Devontae Smith, we're going to see what we can get out of him.
I know that you're a little nervous of the draft with Howie having his hands on all the chips here, but positions that you think have to be addressed non-quarterback as they get ready for the draft. Now they have 15 and 18. They split up that pick, sending it to the Saints. They get another first next year, a couple more twos. I mean, anytime you can add a first round and a second and a third rounder to your war chest for the next 2 years, you've really done a nice job here with this. But just give us some of the positions you think this team needs to address immediately.
Wide receiver and edge. Wide receiver, because Jalen Reagor averages
in that
17
order?
yards a game.
In that order?
It depends on who's on the board. Now, if Jamison Williams is there from Alabama, I kind of think about it at 18. But if Devontae Wyatt is there, I kind of think about that at 15. So it kind of depends on who's there. But wide receiver and edge rusher for sure. Wide receiver has been abysmal. We'll be the only team. We'll be one of two teams in NFL history to take 3 wide receivers in consecutive years in the first round. Just us and the Lions. And look at the Lions. I like to call them the New York Lions. I mean, you can't tell them apart. The Giants or the Lions. Edge rusher, is self-explanatory. We were second to last in sacks. That's not our identity. We got to start getting to the quarterback. Since the year 2000, the Philadelphia Eagles have the second most sacks in NFL, only behind the Pittsburgh Steelers, and now we're second to last. So you got to correct those 2 deficiencies. But wide receiver, by God. I always say you're only as good as your third best wide receiver. Look at all the teams in the NFL, Dan. The Cowboys got 3 good wide receivers. The Rams.
Look at the Bengals.
List just goes on. The Bengals, the Bills. Everybody has 3 good wide receivers who can go off for a crazy 150-yard game. We don't have that. So it got to be wide receiver and edge.
How about this too, LB, man? I think if you just stay in the state of Georgia and you draft one of them Georgia dudes on defense, I don't think you're going to go wrong there with those 2 dudes or 3 dudes. I even wrote down a couple guys here, man. I mean, they got like 3 guys that the Eagles could take a look at. What do you make of Nick Sirianni?
Nick Sirianni, in a nutshell, is a guy who's learning really fast. So you got to be excited about that. I'm excited about Nick Sirianni. Probably more excited than a lot of people, because it didn't start off good. But I haven't seen a lot of coaches change their entire identity as a rookie midway through a season and correct it and get your team to the playoffs. I've never seen that before. So, he learns. He's not that stubborn. Some guys will die with their game plan because it worked since Pee Wee football, But, yeah, this guy's a guy that, he's paying attention. He wants to get it right. So I like him.
The only other team, that's a great point. The only other coach I've ever seen just completely change an identity in the mid part of a year was the year that the Broncos had some dude quarterbacking. Then they put Tebow in, and they went to this RPO offense that he ran, and they ripped off like 7 wins. They beat Roethlisberger in the postseason. It's a great point. I've never really seen.
Dan, was that due to injury?
I think the quarterback. I think they benched the kid. I forget who the guy was in Denver before Tebow. I thought they benched him going into a bye, and they came out with Tebow, and they won 7 in a row or something like that. They went on some psychotic streak. Then they replaced him with Peyton Manning, though. Jonathan Gannon, your take on him?
Jonathan Gannon, I wasn't impressed at all last year. I mean, you gave up 80% completion percentage to like 5 different quarterbacks. It was Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Dak twice probably. Who else? Carr. You know what I mean? Herbert. You just was giving it up. Yeah, guys playing off coverage against elite passing quarterbacks. I didn't think that was smart at all. But he's also a guy that's learning. So I got to kind of take the good with the bad with him. We're getting guys that fit his system. So I'm on a wait and see with him. I called for his job a couple times last year, but I'm going to wait and see with him.
You and Seth Joyner, man. Seth hates the guy. He's like playing them soft ass zones and such, this and that.
Right,
man.
Seth a defensive guy, so I expect
Jonathan Gannon hates him. LB. Hey, here I'll ask you this, man. 2 last questions here. You think Dak Prescott, and this is going to go into Jalen here in a minute. You think Dak Prescott in 2 years gets another contract in Dallas?
No. The money's going to be everybody's going.
You ain't paying him $50 million, right?
Nah, in 2 years, people are going to be making $250,000 a year, man. They ain't giving that to Dak. If Dak don't win more,
Jalen gets a second contract?
Yes, I'm gonna tell you why, Dan. He gonna get a second contract somewhere. It might not be with us. He's not gonna. It might not be with us though, Dan. So
holy shit, a Philly guy is giving me an off ramp.
It might not be with us, but somebody's gonna pay him to play somewhere else.
No, I agree, but I don't see Howie Roseman putting $45 million a year in that guy's pocket.
But I say it could be with us because it won't be that much. He won't even take that much.
No. Wait, let me see. Okay, so right now, the franchise tag is $29.7. That's kind of like the floor right now. So in 2 years, could that thing get to $37 million? It would be around $37 million, probably. Yeah. I would think somewhere between 37 and 40.
But you know what?
There's no way that guy gives him $40 million.
But with inflation, that's going to be regular. That's the regular price.
I know, man. Maybe I'm just old man. Get off my lawn stuff, man. All right. I asked Philly 500 this question, man. So what's a typical Sunday like for you watching your Birds play, man? I mean, look, dude. Here, let me get my hat here, man. My boy Jerome used to say, you guys are psychotic, man. The way you watch your Eagles, man. So what's a Sunday like with you?
Dude, I got a whole section of this house that's only for that. I got a whole section that's only for that. I don't live stream. See, I can't call the game like Philly 500 because I'll probably get in trouble with YouTube. It's a lot of I'm going crazy, man. In short, I'm going crazy. The grill is going. I got me a nice little bottle or something that I'm drinking. I'm just going crazy, man. And I need silence. I might be holding the baby. My kid's walking now, so I got to hold them. So I'm really going crazy.
Oh, good. So, see, to me, in my house, I'm either drinking Coronas. I got a 40. I'm not like Barrett. Barrett's got like Crown Royal, man. He's more of an aristocratic brother. You know what I'm saying? Crown Royal. Me and you are down there with the Thunderbird and drinking.
Right. Right. I definitely got my Corona or something, man. And I'm just vibing out, zoning out, ready to talk about it and upload it on my next video. But I can't live stream. I got to be present, man. I got to just be I got to be a fan when it's on.
Absolutely, man. Well, it's been awesome having you on. We're going to do this again, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Man, you got my number now.
The whole thing. Well, we're going to keep it going, man. Way to go, brother. And I appreciate you being part of this thing. Thank you so much for coming aboard.
No problem, man. I'll stay tuned, brother.
You got it, man. That's LB. Lloyd Brunson. Love it, man. All right, guys, do me a favor. We are so proud to have Morgan & Morgan now part of the Dan Sileo show. And get this, at Morgan & Morgan, the fee is free. That means this. They don't get paid unless you do. That's been a common theme at Morgan & Morgan. Now, look, if you're either injured or hurt on the job, the number one thing that is going to be the most important thing is finding that attorney. John Morgan has been telling me that for 25 years, is that attorney is going to get you the compensation that you need. For the people, it's not a slogan. It's who they are and what they do, fighting for people for all these years. That's what Morgan & Morgan is. With over 800 attorneys in offices in Philly, Florida, New York, across the country, Morgan & Morgan's army of lawyers are fighting for you to get the compensation that you deserve. Look, the call is free. The consultation is free. Call them at 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. What are you waiting for? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 800-512-1600, Morgan & Morgan. And do me a favor, tell them Big Sil sent you.
When choosing a lawyer for your injury case, you may ask, does the size of the law firm matter? Well, of course it does. The insurance company, they're huge with unlimited resources. And whether your case is big or small, they're built to bully you out of the money you're owed. But here's the good news. We're big too, the biggest actually. And we're built to fight to make them pay for all that was taken from you. Size is our strength. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Imagine for a moment that you went to work today and when you came home, you were catastrophically injured. Your life and your family's life. That's what happened to union construction worker Mike Little.
I was scared of what the end was going to be, but to be 100% honest with you, I knew I was going to be all right just by talking with Brian. In my heart, I just knew everything was going to be all right.
Call the firm and find out why they say, "We got this." Call 215-458-2222.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. One free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on three. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the memories. Go for the view that goes on forever. Go for the bubbles in your bathtub and in your drink. Go to bed whenever you want. Or don't. Go for him. Go for her. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Welcome back. National Football Show. Don't get the like button. Thank you guys very much. By the way, Sixers in 6 over Toronto. You could take that to Vegas if you'd like. Oh, and speaking of Vegas, gotta love the NFL. You know those kids that show up for the draft? They don't get paid. They show up free for the NFL. I would never do that. Why? Because I wanted my face on TV? Okay, great. Those players that show up to the NFL draft don't get compensated. I'm not going. I'm going to stay at home with my family and friends. Why would I show up to Vegas or wherever you have it? The NFL just shows you how cheap they are. They're pimping having the draft in Philly, Cleveland, Las Vegas, but they don't pay the kids who are front and center that are going to get drafted a cent. They fly them in, put them up. That ain't good enough, man. Patting me on the head and telling me, hey, we'll put you up and fly you out here for the draft. It's really a big deal. Well, then pay me for it. I wouldn't do that shit for free. Today? Back then, yeah. Today, knowing how much money you make off the NFL draft, I'd be like this. Screw that. I'm not. Why? Because you can make money and I get a free room? The NFL is so pathetic. It's so cheap in ways. But again, that's because they look at the players like they're spark plugs to an engine that runs the NFL machine. And they're not even compensating the kids. Like, I don't know, throwing $10,000 and free room and this and that and all that. Make it worth their time. Why would you show up? Would show up doing that shit? Hey, you get a free room. Wow. Great. Well, I get a free room with my points. Or I'll get a free room. I'll call Krause. Hey, really? Okay, man. You're making millions and millions of dollars off that broadcast. That ain't cutting it, man. Give me a break. All right. So LB, Lord Brunson, is a huge fan of bringing, obviously, Jalen Hurts back. To reset, there's stories out there now, NewJersey.com and also Pro Football Talk with Mike Florio and Big Sills are saying that the Philadelphia Eagles have contacted the Cardinals about the availability of Kyler Murray. You know, it's not that I wouldn't want Kyler Murray in Philadelphia. I just don't know if I want Kyler Murray in Philadelphia for $212 million. You feel me? I just don't know if the price is, you know what, too? How about this? So Kyler Murray wants the same kind of contract that Deshaun Watson wants. Do I think Kyler Murray's Deshaun Watson? Absolutely not. Is he Patrick Mahomes? No way. No way. And I keep bringing that point up to you guys. You think Jalen Hurts gets a second contract in Philly? Not at $37 million, he's not. There's no way the Eagles are going to pay him $37 million. There's no way. There's no way they're paying that guy 37. And LB thinks he'll take a hometown discount. Why? Because I do think other teams may pay him, especially, how about this? If Jalen Hurts puts the Eagles in the playoffs 3 straight years, do you give him another contract? D-Train, man, I think you're right. I don't know if Murray's worth top 5 money, man. I don't see him as a top 5 quarterback. I think he's good. I think he can really, I'll tell you what, the link would be on fire with him playing ball there. I mean, he's a smaller version, or I should say he's a 2.0 version of Michael Vick. Vick probably had a bigger arm. Vick had a bigger arm, but I don't know how much better Michael Vick is than Kyler Murray. Well, I should take that back. Michael Vick Atlanta, not Michael Vick Philly. No. He's got to win a playoff game. Well, so does Hurts. But see, the difference there is that Hurts is making 1.2 to 1.5 million. You bring Kyler Murray into Philly, you're paying him $50 million. How about this, man? Could you see the Cowboys? How about the Cowboys sending Dak Prescott to Arizona and making a swap? You take Dak, we'll take Kyler Murray. Neck of the woods, right? Right? So you could be like top 10 teams, and have a franchise quarterback, or be the rest of the league and be in search of a quarterback. Israel, that is the league. You're right. If you don't have a top 10 quarterback, you're always searching for the guy. That's Samuel, $50 million for Kyler Murray. I know, man. I mean, to me, I think that's the issue, man. Spa says, y'all forget he's 23 and been in 4 systems. Yeah, but Spa, he's been coached by Nick Saban, Lane Kiffin, Lincoln Riley, Doug Peterson, and Nick Sirianni. We're not talking about stiff coaches here. He's been coached by some of the best people on the planet. And in one of those processes, he lost his job to Tagovailoa. You know what I mean? It's one thing to be coached by 4 awful guys. It's another thing to be coached by premier guys. D-Train, Lamar Jackson's going to get $50 million a year. He's just bigger, better. He's checked the marks. I know, man. It's contradicting a little here, right? Dude, he led the NFL in touchdown passes 3 years ago, 36. He wins 80% of his games. Struggles a bit in the postseason. I get it. He did beat Patrick Mahomes. Finally got that off his back. But we're starting to see the nicks and the dents in the armor a little bit the last 2 years with the injuries. Starting to pile up a little bit here. Can you build a long-term franchise around Lamar Jackson? That's my big issue. And you start putting guaranteed money around that, you got to think about all that. Is that conducive to winning? Hey, the reason Brady and guys like Peyton Manning, those guys play 20 years, is because those guys, they don't run. They sit back, and they're not taking the excessive hits that players like that are. That's a lot of money, man. $50 million. I believe there'll be somebody out there that'll want it. Hey, I'll tell you what, if I was the Bears, I'd look at that. Teams that are desperate for a quarterback are going to look at that deal, and there's going to be someone out there. What you're hoping is that it's not the Washington Commanders. You don't want the Washington Commanders or the New York Giants to land Kyler Murray, because then you're behind the 8 ball. Okay, guys, I have my top NFL prospects for the first pick, the 15th pick. I'm going to throw them at you here in hour number 2. I've got a list of 6 names, okay? You know what's funny? I went back and looked at my first mock draft, and it really hasn't deviated all that much, but I got 6 names. Remember what happens in a draft sometimes. Guys get taken right ahead of you, guys that you had picked. This is exactly what the NFL does with teams that are picking down in the middle of the draft. You'll have about 10 names, and then you go with the best guy off your list. That's how you draft. You can't just sit there and go, well, we're going to take him, we're going to take him. Then before you know it, when your pick comes up, you're the Minnesota Vikings of a couple years ago, and you miss your pick. Can't have it. I'm going to do that. Guys, please hit the like button. Hour number 2. Keep it right here on this Football Friday on the National Football Show.
Imagine for a moment that you went to work today, and when you came home, you were catastrophically injured. Your life and your family's life. That's what happened to union construction worker Mike Little.
I was scared of what the end was going to be, but to be 100% honest with you, I knew I was going to be all right just by talking with Brian. In my heart, I just knew everything was going to be all right.
Call the firm and find out why they say, "We got this." Call 215-458-2222.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. 1 free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the memories. Go for the view that goes on forever. Go for the bubbles in your bathtub and in your drink. Go to bed whenever you want. Or don't. Go for him. Go for her. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Hour number 2, National Football Show, your boy Big Sills. Don't forget, starting Monday, we go 3 hours. We won't be on the middle any longer, and I want to say this about my friend Barrett Brooks, who's going through some personal issues, death in the family, and our love goes out to him. I'll tell you one thing that I really enjoyed a lot, doing the show. You know, it's funny, Xander goes like this, hey, you want to make some extra dough? And I was like, yeah, man, I'd love to do it. You know, talking sports and getting paid is like playing professional sports. You're paying me to lift weights? It's great. Anytime you get a seat, it's great. You should always respect your seat. But I got a friend out of it. You know, I got a friend out of it. I really like the guy. My wife couldn't believe that I sent a text to him. I goes, hey, I'm thinking of you, man. Hope it's all right. And he's like, damn, Sills. That's awesome. I appreciate you, man. Brothers for life. And I said, hey, no doubt. I got you, man. We're good. And I was like, yeah, man. Yeah. And you know what? You guys made it good too. And even hammerheads like Maniac. And shut the F up, Maniac. I see your dumbass comments. Holy Maron to me. Trevor, my boy at 790 and WQAM down in Miami. Make sure when you look at that employee of the month, you see Big Sills' name there at QAM. Get this. Big Sills was the employee of the month. The following month, I was fired. Because the Canes didn't like me talking shit on Al Golden. Yeah, Maniac, I love you, man. It's all good, brother. Guys, hit the like button. Hey, yeah, take the picture. Oh, my God. Take the picture of it. And please, Trevor, please. Okay, tweet it. Tweet it to me. Tweet it to me. There's like Big Sills was the employee. I had like 5 shares. And they hadn't had it since Neil Rogers. I took over for Neil Rogers, you know. This guy was psychotic down there, but I really love psychotic radio guys. They can't do that any longer. And then it went from Arbitron to the meters. And I go in there, man. I blow the place up, man. Then again, I hated everybody in the building. I did. I just couldn't stand anybody, man. Oh, I'm glad you're there, though, Trevor. It's a fun place, man. Miami's an awesome place. You need any help with anything, you just let me know. I'll hook you up. Al Golden is such a turd. I hate that guy. The guy destroyed my program. Building champions through New Jersey. Okay? It's not going to cut it. No disrespect. By the way, I'll take that back. Building championships through Missouri. Okay? That's what because New Jersey, man, the Big 33 game, yeah, that's all good. I got named to that Big 33. I got named to the Big 33 high school football all-star game back in the day. Like every guy who's ever played in the Big 33. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Big 33 high school game. It's between Jersey and Ohio. Sometimes it's PA and New York. I think it's something like that. They switch it up every now and then. I got named to that thing. The greater New England area or some shit like that. They put me in like the New York stuff, and I got named to that team. Big 33 is a big deal, but I don't know if they even play that game anymore. You've heard of it. Yeah. I don't know if they play the game anymore, but That thing was really absolutely spectacular. Real quick before I move on, I got a list of 6 names that Connecticut was never invited. I was. I was. Okay? I got 6 names. I think the Eagles could pick at 15. All right, before I do that, so Nick Saban. I got a beef with Nick Saban, Xander's boy. That's it, Big Pickin'. They added New York in there one year. And I got a chance to get named to that team. I got an issue with Xander's boy. He's got a beef with me. I got another beef with him. Stay out of South Florida. Next time I see you down there, I'm not going to say what I did before, but, stay out of South Florida, Nick. Stay out of there. Almost said Mario after your ass. Oh, man. New sheriff in town in South Florida. Mario. Before I get to the Eagles. So you see what Saban said today? Well, the new nil rule, we've got to be very careful because, has to be some guardrails. Guy making $13 million. You're talking about an elitist comment. It sounds like you're out of touch, Nick. When you're making billions and billions of dollars in college football and athletic directors and head coaches are getting paid tens of millions of dollars. Even my program, $8.5 million to Mario. That is unbelievable. And you got a problem giving a kid $600 a month? Come on now. Child labor laws have been violated in this country for decades. The NCAA has acted like a sweatshop for over 50 years. Here, I'm going to tell you guys this. I had no problem taking money when I was in college. You ask me, I'll tell you. Sills, did you take money in college? Absolutely. God, did I love it. I drove a Corvette around. Xander's posted my vet. You think I paid for that? I came from very limited means. We were okay. My folks weren't going to buy me a brand new Corvette with 5 miles on it. And we're going to do that. You're damn right. Someone gave it to me. Someone gave me a job. I was making $1,000 a week. Someone gave me the ability to get a $20,000 loan off my Lloyd's of London policy. Absolutely. Had no problems with it. Now, Bryce Young made $1 million. Good for him. More power to him. I love it. Hey, Hugh, seriously, you're going to keep Reggie Bush's Heisman Trophy away from him now when you're paying kids today. Really. You talk about just being a piece of shit, absolute hypocritical National Communist Association of America at its finest. The NCAA doesn't give a shit about kids. They don't care. They'll take advantage of you. You don't even have health care if you get hurt. They'll send your ass home. If you get hurt or you die on campus for whatever means, school's not accountable and responsible. The program's not responsible for you unless it was malicious, like the kid at Maryland who passed away. You get no health benefits. Break your leg, blow your knee out, end your career, play in a shit bowl game that doesn't matter. Why would you play in a bowl game now? Why would you play in the FruitLoop.com bowl? Why would you? If you're going to be a first-round draft choice. If I was going to be a first-round draft choice, hell, if I was going to be a top 3-round draft choice, you think I'd really play in the FruitLoopPotatoChin.com bowl? You could kiss my ass on that. I ain't doing that. My friend Kevin Fagan played in the Sugar Bowl. We win the game. We win the national title. He blows his knee out. Instead of being the 5th pick in the draft, he goes in the 5th round. Played 9 years for the Niners. But it cost him $5 million. No way. Not happening. So nuts. Goes like this. What if the parents don't have insurance? You're shit out of luck. You're shit out of luck. Yeah, you're screwed, man. You're buried in a pine box. So when Saban goes, we really got to put guardrails on this. Yeah, Nick, you just got to go out and recruit a little harder. That's all it is. I know you own the world now. But it's going to make – hey, Miami, by the way, is killing the nil rule. Players all over – I think like 45 guys are making money off the nil rule. Oh. Hey, the Bitcoin Bowl, I won't be shocked, dude. I love that idea. Hilton, I'll bet you anything there's going to be a bowl game like that. A crypto bowl? You watch. And you know what they do? They give the kids cryptos for winning. Yeah. Oh, Hugh, I have no pity for the NCAA. They took my senior year away. You know how if you graduate today, guys, you get to pick your school of choice and you could transfer without having to sit out. I went to summer school so many times that I had enough credits to graduate. They held it against me, took my senior year away from me. It probably cost me $3 million. Okay. Maybe not 3, because I ended up getting a Jerome Brown deal. I signed the same deal Jerome signed when I came out in a supplemental draft. Jerome got a 1.9 deal. I think mine was like 1.75 over 3. Hey, the portal is really – all right, let me get over to this now. Guys, please hit the like button. I'm just going to go with the 15th pick here, okay? I'm going to go with the 15th pick. I got 6 guys. You know what's funny? Wait till you see how many guys are from one school. I got Jordan Davis, the defensive tackle that ran a 4.78 at 351 pounds. I don't think you could pass on that if that's sitting in your face. If Jordan Davis or Matt Corral is at 15, who would you take? Who would you take? If Matt Corral is at 15 and Jordan Davis, who's 6'6", 351 pounds, runs a 4.78, played on that Georgia defensive line, won the national championship, who would you take? Man, could you really pass on that? Xander goes, we need a quarterback, and there lies the problem all the time with teams overdrafting quarterbacks, like Brandon Weeden. Teams get so desperate because they need a quarterback, they pass on Warren Sapp. They pass on Randy Moss. They pass or make a mistake on Justin Jefferson. Teams always – now, that was more – he could have picked him. That was a complete disaster evaluation by the Eagle front office. So that's maybe not the best analogy. But, man, this kid is a special, spectacular player. Okay? See, the comment Xander made is exactly why you overdraft the position of quarterback. And especially in a draft where you have question marks on the class itself. I need a quarterback. So you pass on a guy who was productive and as productive as Jordan Davis was, and you've never seen – see, one thing is you can be big, strong, and powerful, but when you're running 4.78s at 351 pounds, you understand that's like Zion Williamson running at you. That's Zion Williamson, 350 pounds, 6'6", running at you, and he's an athlete. I don't know. I don't know. I could pass on Davis. Another Georgia kid. Devontae Wyatt may actually be the best player on that front seven. 4.71. What did I have him listed at? 4.71. 6'4", 315. Runs 4.7s. Edge rusher. Dominant kid. I mean, you're not going to go wrong with these guys. You're not, especially when you have a need. And by the way, Matt Corral, do you really have as much of a need for Matt Corral over Jalen Hurts as you do an edge rusher where you finish 31st in sacks? How much is Corral going to improve your team? He could a lot. Better passer. Not with that group, though. That group is made for Jalen Hurts. That group's not made for Matt Corral. Matt Corral's wide receivers were getting wide open in the SEC. Yeah, not in the NFC East. Even though the division's not all that hot, it's still the NFL. Davis, according to Big Chris, is Jerome Brown 2.0. Yeah, but dude, he's bigger than JB. He's bigger than JB. JB was like 6'2.5", 315 pounds. This guy's 6'6". I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to hold to the guns here. You know what? Trent McDuffie, I know a lot of you guys don't like him. I think he's maybe the best corner in the draft. The kid from Cincinnati's probably the best athlete in the draft at corner. And there is a massive need for the Eagles at corner. And Trent McDuffie, in my opinion, the kid from Washington, some of you would go like this, Sills, Pac-12. How do you feel about that? Well, he's going to be an athlete in that conference. He sees a lot of passing quarterbacks in that conference. Okay? I mean, and when you watch him and how he jams, he plays a little like Darrelle Revis. He's not quite as physically imposing. Darrell's like 6'3". This kid's more like 6 feet, 5'11" and 7/8, like that. He's not small, but you'd like to have that. Man, having 6-foot corners is insane. Okay? He's a good football player. You know, I said that was my pick in my mock draft at 15 to the Eagles. I got to tell you, man, I don't know if I'm going to move off that. I think that Trent McDuffie there at 15 makes a lot of sense for the Eagles. Number 4, George Karlaftis, the Purdue edge rusher. Xander told me that McMullen says that the Eagles don't like him. That means they probably love him. Because if anybody is getting it out that you don't like a player, we're now in the land of disinformation. If you're telling somebody you don't like somebody, you must love the hell out of them. Okay? Nobody is going to get anything out there in the public right now that's the truth. Nobody's going to tell you the truth. Why would I lead you to my blueprint? Why would I lead you to my mentality of how I'm going in the draft? Why would I do that? I wouldn't. Why would I show my hand a month and a half before the draft? I hate the kid. Of course you do. Let me take a look at him. You know what I would do? If I heard anybody saying that coming out of the Eagle organization, I'd send my scouts to scout that kid even more out of Purdue. He did a hell of a job. Every year I saw that guy play against Ohio State, he was a factor. He was a factor. But let me ask you this, guys. Okay. When you see any of these edge rushers, like this kid here from Purdue and Aiden Hutchinson, do you see Chase Young or Nick Bosa or Joey Bosa? Do you see one of those guys? I don't think I see that. Right? I don't think I see that. I think they're good football players. I'm not saying that they're not going to be guys that are going to go high in the draft, but I look at those dudes. Yeah, but Xander says they're dudes. Yeah, but you know what? When I saw Chase Young at Ohio State, he was a Heisman Trophy candidate before he got in trouble for those ticket issue, and it was really dumb. Remember, somebody gave him tickets, and they gave him money, and he ended up paying it back, the money for the tickets for his family so they could go to a game. They held him out of a couple games. It was such a dumb move by the NCAA. That was so criminal. You ruined the kid's chances at the Heisman. When I saw Nick Bosa playing or Joey playing at Ohio State, those guys were – you circled them. You went, man, those guys are pretty damn good. Chris Spielman said that the Bosas are just spectacular. Big Pickett says McDuffie's a starting corner in the NFL for the next 10 years. Hey, man, I love the kid. I've been watching him. I've been watching as much tape as I possibly can on him. How about this? I got 3 Georgia guys here in my top 5. Lewis Klein, Georgia safety. This guy's a hitter. I watched some film on him earlier today. And, man, he closes on the ball well. Tone-setting guy. He was really, in that national championship game against Alabama, he was rocking them dudes, man. I'll tell you, whatever Georgia ate that night, they missed that meal when it came to the SEC title game because that wasn't the same unit that got their heads pushed in that Southeastern Conference title game. Because when they got into that game against Alabama, they were ready. They were ready to go, man. Dude, you got 3 guys in my top 5. If you stayed in the Georgia program, I don't think you could go wrong at 15 with Davis, Wyatt, and Klein. Shit, they got the kid Nakobe Dean is also going to get drafted high in the first round. You may have 4 dudes. How about this? Between Alabama and Georgia, this coming NFL draft, I'll tell you this. Watch this. Let me show you what in the top 32 picks, Bama could have the first pick in the draft or second. The kid Neal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You could have 9 guys go from Georgia and Alabama in the first 32 picks. Why would you recruit anywhere else? And you've got to put Matt Corral there at 15 because there's got to be something to the point that potentially they could be there looking at a quarterback. They brought him in. They talked to him. They liked him. 101. Is McDuffie like McMillan, Nate? I love doing that too, 101. By the way, please hit the like button, dude. I like comparing athletes too. Like, see, when I see Aiden Hutchinson, can I tell you who's the guy Kerrigan? Kerrigan started his career in Washington, right? Am I right? The guy that's on the Eagle, Kerrigan started his career in Washington. Am I right when I say that? Kerrigan, earlier in his career, he was a really good player in Washington. He was a really good player. And I kind of see that. Okay? When Ryan Kerrigan was at Washington, first 5-6 years, he was a productive player. Got to the quarterback, put up good stats, was an impact guy, 50, 60 tackles, 8-9 sacks. That's kind of what I see with Aiden Hutchinson. Like that kind of guy. You know what I mean? Not over the top spectacular. You know, he's not going to be a Chandler Jones. I don't think. He may. I don't think you're going to see a guy like that that's going to do 10 sacks, 80 tackles, put up like Reggie White numbers. I don't see that. Ryan Kerrigan, when he got to the Eagles, was completely out of gas. His best years were 5 years ago. Yeah, one-on-one. It's like, okay. But see, that's what I'm saying now. I think a lot of these guys coming out of the Big Ten this year, I think they're going to be effort guys, which is not a bad thing. By the way, Vasily, I'm going to talk about David Ojabo here in a second, okay? Okay, I am. I'm going to talk about him here in a second. Please remind me, too. By the way, Big Sills is so proud to have Morgan & Morgan part of the National Football Show here. I mean, we're so proud to have it. Again, one of the great things about Morgan & Morgan, the fee is free. It means this. They do not get paid unless you do, unless you're fully compensated. Now, look, you get hurt on the job or injured on the job, choosing a lawyer is one of the most important things that you could possibly do, and Morgan & Morgan is there for you. For the people, it's not a slogan. It's what they do. It's who they are. And making sure you get your proper compensation is the number one thing that Morgan & Morgan does. With over 800 attorneys and offices in Philly, Florida, New York, and across the country, you see them everywhere now. Morgan & Morgan's army of lawyers are there to fight for you and make sure you get the compensation that you deserve. That's what they've done. I've known John Morgan for over 25 years. Call's free. The consultation's free. Call them. 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Morgan & Morgan for the people. Do me a favor. Make sure you tell them Big Sills sent you.
After a car crash, the big insurance companies you see advertising on TV, they may try to downplay your case and might say it's only a fender bender or it's just a herniated disc. I worry that some law firms fall for this BS. Not us. We put ourselves in your shoes and ask, what would it be like to be in your pain for the rest of our lives? $1 million wouldn't be enough for me. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com.
Imagine for a moment that you went to work today and when you came home, you were catastrophically injured. Your life and your family's life. That's what happened to union construction worker Mike Little.
I was scared of what the end was going to be, but to be 100% honest with you, I knew I was going to be all right just by talking with Brian. In my heart, I just knew everything was going to be all right.
Call the firm and find out why they say, "We got this." Call 215-458-2222.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. One free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on three. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the memories. Go for the view that goes on forever. Go for the bubbles in your bathtub and in your drink. Go to bed whenever you want. Or don't. Go for him. Go for her. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Welcome back. National Football Show. My daughter is right now in the semifinals for the national championship. They're up 26-17. They're at Stanford right now, playing at the big stadium. And if they win, they play in the West Coast Finals against BYU. Then the two teams, whoever wins that game on Saturday, will play for the national championship. I believe in Houston. So if I look down at my phone a couple times here, I got a friend up there that's keeping score of this thing for me. So we're right there right now. We're on the cusp of potentially making it. Stanford's a pretty good program. Stanford, Washington, Brigham Young, and Grand Canyon University, where my daughter's the captain of the team. Unbelievable, man. So yeah, man, I'm just absolutely – I can't believe it, man. Jacob's cheering Didi on, man. God bless it. So if I look down, please forgive me. Oh, man. Sills, Eagles on offense. Let's start our young except Lane and Kelsey. On defense, we have like 6 starters. 101. That offense has to change overnight. Okay? Noting that with our first 5 picks, where would you draft and why? What's important to you, 101? Do you want to know if your team can be guided by Jalen for the next 5 years, or do you want to continue to improve the roster and build it for another quarterback? Okay, what do you think Howie's thinking now? Personally, me, I don't know. They've done enough to let me think. Like I've been saying to you, Tagovailoa's getting a shitload of help. You know what I love? I'll tell you something about Tua too, and Jalen and him. 101, Jalen and him are just magical behind the mic. They were so well coached to be behind the mic by Nick Saban. He was asked the question, what do you make of your chances this year in Miami and the team's chances? He goes, well, I've been given a tremendous opportunity now with all the great things that they've done here. We got an offensive-minded coach. They kind of deviated off the plan where they were, which was working. And he's like, now they bring Tyreek Hill in. I'm just like, I'm really thrilled about the opportunity. That's how you answer that. Okay? That is so how you answer that. You have perfect answer. It's not this. Well, hey, now I'm going to have a true opportunity to go out there, and now we're going to go out there, and we're going to go out there. Oh, it's 26-24, guys. Oof. EC, how you doing, my friend? Yeah, man, I love how he answers it. I love how he's answering that question. I really do. I think he's given an opportunity, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does in Miami this year. Miami's given him every opportunity to succeed. To answer your question, though, me, I got to get a wideout. And I'm not just talking about I got to get another wideout to go with Devontae. And here's why. The reason that I want another wideout, let's hypothetically say that. How about this? Let's hypothetically say this. Okay? If he's not the guy, Jalen, you have a tight end, 2 wide receivers that you drafted with premium picks, and you've got an offensive line. To me, if you're a quarterback in next year's draft, a free agent maybe pops loose, how would you not want to play in Philadelphia? So you really can't lose. That's why I say wide receiver. I say wide receiver because if you're not building it for Jalen, you may be building it for someone else. Does that make sense? Yeah, no, man, I like the kid Burks too. He kind of fits exactly. Burks on the other side of Devontae, that's exactly how you build that team, especially when you're a dominant running attack. And by the way, too, you know what? That Georgia running back that they have, I wouldn't mind. Georgia running backs have been superstars in the NFL. Do you know what else has to improve with the Eagle passing game? Their screen game. How many screens did they run this last year? Do you remember games where they were that's just not – Brady throws to his backs every game. Sometimes his wide receivers are his leading catch guys. Man. Right? That screen game's got to improve. Screen game improves, play action improves. Play action improves, Devontae Smith improves. Jalen Hurts improves. Safety is another position that's needed. Corner is another edge rusher. I would say in order: receiver, edge, corner, safety. That's how if I have to now put the building blocks together, before it was just finding the blocks, right? Before it was just finding the blocks. To me, it's receiver, edge, corner, safety. That's how I would go if I was building the team. Edge, it's going to be basically on really who's down there. The kid Hamilton, can I ask you guys a question about Kyle Hamilton? How many people like Kyle Hamilton from Notre Dame? How many people like Kyle Hamilton? I'll make a point to you about something here. He may break the bank, and he may break the mold. Who's the best Notre Dame player in the NFL right now? Let me think. Zach Martin? Who else? Let me think. Who's the best Notre Dame player in the NFL? I said Zach Martin, lineman from Notre Dame, plays with the Cowboys. Yeah, Zach Martin. Manti Te'o, is he still in the league? Harrison Smith, okay. Fine ball player. Harrison Smith and Zach Martin. Notre Dame doesn't produce NFL players. Like Indiana basketball. They don't produce NBA guys. You got Isaiah Thomas and like who? Mike Woodson? Quinn Buckner? Kent Benson? It's back in the 70s. What other Indiana basketball player do you remember that was a superstar in the NBA outside Isaiah Thomas? Notre Dame doesn't produce NFL guys. Chase Claypool? Okay, Dave Casper played 40 years ago. I love it, Rudy. Okay? Just saying, if they get run over by Southeastern Conference teams, every time, why do you think Brian Kelly left Notre Dame? He knew he couldn't compete. He knew he couldn't compete. That's why, hey, you use Notre Dame as a stepping stone to take the LSU job? Wow. Okay. I want to hit on David Ojabo. Should the Eagles take a look at him in the second round? I'm going to give you my take. Do me a favor. Hit the like button. Keep it right here on the National Football Show.
Imagine for a moment that you went to work today and when you came home, you were catastrophically injured. Your life and your family's life. That's what happened to union construction worker Mike Little.
I was scared of what the end was going to be, but to be 100% honest with you, I knew I was going to be all right just by talking with Brian. In my heart, I just knew everything was going to be all right.
Call the firm and find out why they say, "We got this." Call 215-458-2222.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. One free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on three. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the memories. Go for the view that goes on forever. Go for the bubbles in your bathtub and in your drink. Go to bed whenever you want. Or don't. Go for him. Go for her. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
GCU, 26. Stanford, 24. How you doing, Didi? They move on to play BYU. The winner plays for the national championship. It's a West Coast, East Coast, and they had all these teams out here at Palo Alto. That's where she is. Team flew out last night, and they beat Stanford at their home place. Now they'll play Brigham Young to go to the national championship in Houston, either against like West Virginia, Virginia Tech, Army, I think, is also in it. Wow. That's really great, man. My daughter's a captain of that team. I could never be captain. I'm too selfish of a guy. Hey, Sills, yeah, let me worry about Big Sills. My daughter's 10 times the person I ever. Fred, how you doing? Right. Congratulations, man. What an absolutely fabulous. What a game, man. Congratulations to them. So can't wait to talk to my kid. Fantastic. Fantastic. They play tomorrow. Brigham Young. Hey, real quick, before I get on to David Ajabo here. You know, I got to say, man, you know, I know most of you guys are going to go, wow, Sills, this is a left turn. I got to throw this at you here. When I woke up this morning and I heard that Mike Bossy, hey, man, thank you, Vape. When I heard that Mike Bossy had passed away, man, that guy was one of my childhood heroes and idols. Thank you, dude. That's really great, man. Thank you. Thank you, Vape. Mike Bossy was one of my childhood idols. I think he played 10 years. He had to quit because of his back. Scored 573 goals. That New York Islander team, when I was a kid, used to battle it out with those Flyer teams all the time. Flyers and Islanders, back when the bad boys, okay, those bullies, Schultz and all them guys, and Clark, right? Bernie Perrant. By the way, Bernie Perrant follows me on Twitter. So you know, Bossy and Trottier, Ken Morrow, Billy Smith and net. Bossy was the best pure goal scorer, and I mean that even with Gretzky. He just was spectacular. Passed away. I think he had lung cancer. You know, every year I was in high school, the New York Islanders won the Stanley Cup. Yeah, nuts. Bossy died today. Islanders and Bruins, right? Islanders, Bruins. Wasn't really the Rangers. Rangers weren't good then. It was Islanders, Bruins, and Flyers. Yeah. Yeah, man. Elon Musk follows you. Elon Musk follows me. I know, man. Elon Musk, man. You see, hey, real quick, how can you hate Elon Musk if you're a liberal? He believes in electric cars and free speech. But you hate him because he wants to buy Twitter, so you drop the poison pill on the guy? And you don't let stockholders vote on a substantial offer. When I was a stockbroker, that's kind of against what you do as board members. So the shareholders are not going to get a chance to vote because the board doesn't want to put it in front of the shareholders. Why have a board of directors? They're going to get sued. They're going to lose. Twitter's going to lose that. He's put them in such a bind because legally, the Securities Exchange Commission will come down on that board and go like this. That's not your job. It's to hold back offers for a company that's public. That's why you're on the stock exchange. You're on the stock exchange. That's why he wants to take it private. He's going to buy it, take it private. You can't make bids on it. Public companies, the reason you're public, you make offers. Dude, he's got them by the short hairs. He's going to get that company. He's going to get that company. He really is, man. And you're going to see people shit their pants when he gets that. It is a hostile takeover, Fran. You think? All right. David Ajabo, he's injured. Man, I hate doing this. I hate taking guys that are hurt. You know what I'm saying, guys? I hate taking guys that are hurt, man. I just don't like it. And how he got hurt too, man, which is even more obnoxious. And again, a second-round draft choice. Great thing for us for this show and for free speech. Musk buying Twitter helps big sales. Oh, for sure it does. Because not everybody can put lies up out there about me. You know what's funny? So Barrett Brooks likes a racist now, according to Twitter. Barrett Brooks is friends with a racist. Even when Xander, man, he's like, Sills, you're nothing like what I know. I know. You know what? Every producer that's ever worked for me, my last 4 producers, Danny Ryder, this young kid I had at Odyssey, Xander, and even Barrett. Damn, Sills, you're nothing like what people say. And your guest, you're friends with Ice Cube and Luther Campbell and Warren Moon. Yeah, they're friends. They're not my black friends like some white people like to say. Someone asked me this before. Sills, you have black friends? No, I have friends. I don't categorize people and put them in boxes like that. Yeah, I got another. No, wait a minute. Maybe Italians I do. Yeah, okay. You caught me. Let's see. Maniac, will you stop with the food? How many lobster raviolis? That sounds like a damn good dish. That sounds like a damn... I may have to look into that. Duck, man, right? I don't have... How many times do you hear people quantify themselves? Well, you know, I have so many black friends. I'm not racist. You're like, shut up. Do Eagles make a pitch for an immature crybaby, Kyler Murray, who has won zilch in the NFL? Would you make a play for crybaby Aaron Rodgers? Would you make a play for crybaby Aaron Rodgers? Huh? Yeah, but Jalen's a tough guy. Yeah, okay, great. That's all that stupid stuff that does him. Hardworking guy. Everyone loves him. I want a talented arm. Look at that Italian flag. And pizza. Shit. Automatically gets my attention. That is stupid when you have to say, isn't it, Duck? You always know that a guy's coming from, there. How many times you hear, every time I hear like a white guy do this, well, I have a ton of black friends. Jesus, criminy. Was that supposed to make whatever you're saying right? Shut up. It's dumb. Do you understand how embarrassing that is? So you have black friends. No, you have friends. Jesus, criminy. I hate when people do that. I automatically question your character. Oh, I got Jewish friends. You're like, why does it have to go there? Why can't you just say you got friends? I got a ton of friends. Yeah. Barrett is now my friend. And he's friends with a racist now. That's what the idiots on Twitter or some on Twitter say. Never met me or know me from a can of paint. You guys, you know what? You guys know me more than anybody on Twitter does. I talk to you guys more than I have in any market, especially in Snowflake, California. Worst sports talk in the country is in California. Worst. You're constantly in the principal's office, and they tell me to tone my show down. They called me in the office in San Diego at Entercom and told me, please don't do your show. Like this, please don't do your show. Market manager called me in with the operations guy. You can't do your show like you want to do it. Then why'd you hire me? You're a talented guy, man. Xander says this. He goes, dude, it's amazing. And I know this. However, certain places won't let me do my show. You think Philadelphia would let me do my show on WIP or The Fanatic? Never. Truth, justice, and the American way are not made for radio. It's not. The days of Rush Limbaugh are gone. You'll never see the likes of that again. Never put a guy like that back on radio. Calling Obama the magic Negro. That's what Rush called him. You're never going to get a guy who has that kind of power in advertisers. Ever again get a guy like that on the radio. Guy had cannolis the size of Philadelphia. Never gonna. Never. Never. David Ajabo. I went on a small rant there a little bit. I would take him in the second round. I'd take a gamble on him. I would take a gamble on him. He's a project. He's injured. That's a gamble. Can you imagine, though, if that guy turns out to be what we all think he could potentially be? That guy could be somebody special. Guys, do me a favor. Mark this down. 3 o'clock. No longer 4 to 6. 3 o'clock. We start on Monday. And we go 3 to 6. We're your afternoon guys. By the way, all those other shows where you guys are, we'll own them by September. Hell, we already own them. Okay? 3 to 6. Have a spectacular weekend. My day is set. My daughter's going to play for a chance to play for the national championship if she beats BYU over the weekend. Hey, and if you're not following me on Twitter, please do. Okay? I'd like to try to get to 15,000 soon as we start the new show on my Twitter page. So if you could help me out there, I'd appreciate it. Again, guys, see you Monday, 3 to 6. Hit the like button. If you missed any of the show, share it, like it. We appreciate it so much. Thank you guys again for everything. We'll catch you Monday. Gary Cobb will be with us, and we'll see you.